The Easter holidays is such a crucial time in terms of revision for GCSEs, AS and A-level. Hello and welcome back to Study With Additti. My name is Additti and this channel is dedicated to revision tips and tricks along with much more to help make your schooling life a whole lot easier. Today, as you may have noticed, I'm in a bit of a different setup, and that is because I'm trying to find out which setups around the house are best for filming. So over the next few videos, if you see changing setups, that's why. So in this video I'm just going to be talking about mistakes that I've made in the past in terms of Easter holiday revision and just how you can learn from those, and just general tips on how to really make the most of Easter. I have a load of notes with me, so if I look down at any point, that's why. Tip number 1 is sit down and write a list of everything that you need to revise for every single subject that you do. So for this I just went onto Word, made a table, and then I started adding things as I went. So a topic obviously makes sense and that's already filled in on Word. After I've filled in all the topic names, I print it out and then I start looking at the other columns. So priority, I do low, medium and high priority. So low priority is stuff that I kind of need to be like, okay, yeah, I've got to revise it, but to be honest, if I don't do it now, if I don't really get it done in the holidays, it's okay because I still have some knowledge of it. And then medium priority is like, okay, I kind of know this, I kind of don't. It'd be really good if I managed to revise this in the holidays. And then high priority is like, okay, this has to be one of the first things I revise in the holidays. This has to get done no matter what because I don't know any of it. You get it. The next one is notes. For this one I do a tick. So if I've done the notes for a certain topic, I'll tick it. The column after this is questions. These aren't actually questions I need to ask my teachers. That is another document that I've created. But these are questions as in practice questions. So again, I do a tick if I've done practice questions on that topic. If I haven't, then I leave that blank, and that way I know I need to do practice questions. And then finally is the more column. This one I've implemented just for maths because, as I said, I think I'm a bit weaker at that at the moment. So for that I put two symbols. I put a dot and a tick. So a dot is if I think I need to do more practice on it, even after having done the practice questions. And then if I've done that practice and that extra work, then I put a tick. It's self-explanatory. And make sure your revision checklist is self-explanatory too. You may have also noticed the colour coding that I've used. So for geography, because we have 3 big topics and each of them are really big, so I just used 3 different colours for that entire checklist just so I can differentiate between each topic. For maths I had 3 colours again because for maths A-level there's pure maths, statistics and mechanics. So I've just chosen 3 random colours, but what I've done is green is pure, and then pink is stats, and then purple is mechanics. For French I use repeating colours and they were literally just random colours, but I have done chunks of them. So say the subheading was adjectives, everything under adjectives would be one colour, so that's that. For economics I've literally just done theme 1 is one colour and then theme 2 is another colour. So that's my colour coding personally. You don't have to copy it if you don't want to, but if you do, by all means go ahead. So once you've done that, the second thing that you want to do is plan your revision. Planning doesn't necessarily mean a timetable, and for me that is definitely the case. I don't like revision timetables at all. I feel really constrained. I can't plan minute to minute. Trust me, I've tried many times, especially during GCSEs, but to be honest, I kind of just thought if it wasn't working then there was no point of doing it. In the end it probably hindered my revision for that period of time that I was trying to decide if it was for me or not, because I was so caught up in what I was supposed to be doing every single minute, and I didn't have that sort of free mind that I kind of needed during revision. So that's my kind of mistake. So I've used it in year 10 and I thought I could kind of turn it around in year 11 with another one, but it didn't work, so that was one of my mistakes. So if you know that a revision timetable doesn't work for you, don't do it, because you're going to waste time. What I like to do instead is kind of do it based on my mood. I know that's a bit of a weird, like vague sort of thing to say. Say on my timetable that it was saying I had to do French revision, but I wanted to do math revision. As you can see, like those subjects are really quite contrasting, and I think that you definitely do have a mood for each subject. So because of those subjects being so contrasting, it would hinder my productivity in the French revision if I followed the timetable. However, one thing you could do is if you print out a blank timetable for that day and you fill it out in the morning of that day, you have more of a sense of what you're in the mood to do. So if you still wanted that structure to your day, but you wanted the element of doing what you felt like, I think that could work quite well. If you're going to go based on your mood, then make sure you have some sort of track of what subjects you've done and what subjects you haven't done revision for. Because like if you're not making notes, or if you're not doing questions, but you're just going through the material, like going through your flashcards or your notes, then you might end up doing more revision for the subject that you're in the mood for usually than other subjects. So make sure you have some sort of like tracker sort of system. What I'm trying to say is don't go 100% based on your mood. Make sure you're still tracking stuff. My second tip for you is block off any days that you are busy. It's quite self-explanatory, this one. You don't want to include revision in days that you know you're not going to get it done. You don't want to plan it for those days. And also, if you have a day where it's like a few hours busy, get other non-revision stuff done. So like try and like group your busyness, if that makes sense. And just in general about your busy days, try and establish them beforehand. Tip number 4 is being specific about what you want to do in that revision session. If you're being specific about what you want to achieve, it's more likely to be measurable and you know exactly how much of that small manageable task that you've completed. Now tip number 5 is about actually getting on with your work. Now, before you start any revision, complete all of your homework. Homework is kind of compulsory and you have to give it in, whereas revision is kind of in your free time and it's up to you how much you want to do. So for my homework, what I've done is I've used the concept of a master to-do list, and I've actually got that from Ruby Granger, and I think it's a really good concept actually. I use it in my day-to-day life for like little admin things, little things non-study related that don't go in my academic planner. For this Easter I'm going to do one specifically for homework. That way I can track what homework I need to do before doing my revision. Tip number 6 is put more tasks and revision sessions at the start of Easter rather than the end of Easter. Like, think about it. You're going to have more motivation to do your work, you're going to be more pumped to start, and as Easter goes on and on, you're going to have less of that motivation. So if you get more of your work done at the start, you're going to be in a much better place. Tip number 7 is to do with this thing here. Make sure your phone goes away somewhere where you're not doing revision. Get an app or turn it off and put it somewhere else, put it in another room. What I personally do is give my phone to a family member, because that way I know I can't just like go into that room and turn it on. With giving my phone to a family member, I know that they're going to prevent me from trying to go onto it. Number 8 is make sure you take breaks. Breaks are really, really important. Just like you're playing badminton or tennis, you're working your body and eventually you're going to need a break. Studying, revision, same sort of thing, but with your brain. You're working it so much and your brain needs a break too. It works the same. Try and make sure that your break is shorter than your revision sessions, but not that much shorter. So say you're doing 3 hours and then you have a 15-minute break. That's not exactly the right ratio. So for me, I have periods 1 and period 2, and then I have a 20-minute break. Maybe you could try something like that. You have to remember though, during periods 1 and periods 2, you're not constantly working. There are like 5 minutes here and there where people might be late, the teacher might be getting something together, you know, it's not always 100% working all the time. Whereas with revision, it's more likely to be that way. So you might want to have a longer break. I might change that to 2 hours and a half an hour break, or 2 hours and even a 40-minute break. And just make sure that you're not like cheating yourself. You can have, I don't know, you can do 2 hours of a session and then have a 1.5 hour break. But like, is that really right for you and how much you want to get done? You know you're going to have to work for the grades that you want, and by taking long breaks, you're not really necessarily going to get them. So make sure that you really know that if you're taking a really long break, that you know you've got to get back to work. Tip number 9 is actually from Unjaded Jade, while I was watching her How to Revise Over Easter video for myself. And what she said was, over the coming days, try and take 10-minute recaps of previous days. So like, I don't know, say you did something about DNA on Monday, taking this 10-minute recap on like Thursday or Friday would really solidify that knowledge in your brain, and I think that's a really good idea. So I think that'd be a really good idea to implement into your revision. Tip number 10 is make sure that the quality of your revision is better than the quantity. A load of people do like 12 hours, even 24 hours of revision, and while it may be a long period of time, the quality might not be as good. That doesn't mean that people who do long hours of study are doing it incorrectly. If it works for them, that's absolutely fine. But again, it's all about what works for you. If it doesn't work for you, then try and think about having more quality revision time in a fewer number of hours, and that way you're also going to be studying a bit smarter too. So that's it for this video. I hope these 10 tips have really motivated you and pumped you for your upcoming revision. I hope it's given you a clear idea on how to structure your revision, track your progress, and how to utilise your time in the Easter holidays in the best way possible. Smash the like button and comment down below any revision tips and tricks that you have. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe and hit the bell icon while you're at it. Thank you for watching, and goodbye!